What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we're going to be going over the charts. Definitely stick around for the whole video. Make sure you smash those thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Bitcoin is headed to the moon. Just kidding. We've expected this push up. As you guys can see, last week I tweeted, are we going to hit the 27.2 to 27.3, or do we have a reversal continuation to the downside from where we were? Obviously, we're hitting the 27.2, 27.3 range. I do believe we are very close to a reversal here. I want to heed warning. Definitely very sketchy area. We're going to take a look at all the charts: gold, silver, Dow, NASDAQ, S&P. Also taking a look at BNB at the end. Definitely stick around for the whole video. We're going to go over a lot here, so let's get into it. So looking at gold, as you guys know, I think this was a big fifth wave, triple top reversal for gold. If we zoom in here, this is the daily chart. We are currently getting rejected right at our 55 EMA. I do think we're most likely going to turn around from here. But the area we need to break on gold to continue down is around 1903. Our resistance is currently at our 0.236 fib at 1972. But I am looking for this to continue down. You guys know my targets. We've had this target for over 2 years, 1565. I do think this is where we'll end up landing. If that breaks, we're looking at around 1424. If that breaks, it's very, very, very bad for all markets, right? I've explained before, the DXY is what rises in the bear market while everything else crashes down. That letting in big money into the DXY while they wait for the markets to crash and then get back in the markets, and then the DXY can continue to the downside. First, we have a massive bull run happening in the DXY. I've been talking about this for a long time, especially when everyone started talking about the dollar is dead, right? That's when the dollar started rising. So be aware of that. Here is silver. Same thing. We've had our target of 15.6 for silver all the way down to $7. Looking to break this trend line at $20.50. Once that breaks, I think we continue down to our 15 and then our 7. Looking at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ, currently we are getting support above the 55 EMA on the daily. But as you guys know, I'm looking for us to come down and test this trend line here at 1474. If that does break, much more downside coming, looking around 1250. And then, of course, if that breaks, much, much lower targets down into the 5,000 to 7,000 range. So keep an eye out for that. S&P, same thing, getting support right now in the 55. We're looking for a break down here at 42.24. We have a target of 37.35, and if that breaks, much, much lower. The Dow Jones, as you guys know, we've been waiting for this trend line to break on the bottom, which currently lies right around 34.4 range. If that breaks, I do see a massive drop for the Dow. Could get all the way down to these levels, lower 20s. If that breaks, it gets really bad. But I do believe we have the biggest opportunity of our lifetimes coming. I don't think the markets are going to see new all-time highs like a lot of people think about or talk about. We'll see what happens there. I could be wrong. Remember, none of this is financial advice, but I think we have some serious downside for all markets. Looking at the Dow Jones, right here is the 2007, right before the 2008 crash, the UAW strike, and this is where we're at right now, and the UAW is striking again. They're doing it in sections, right? They're not doing it all at once. They're little at a time. There were other strikes in here too, but it was just like usually 1 or 2 of the big 3. This is 3 of the big 3. So be careful, be cautious. And the DXY, you guys know we've had this target up here of 105. I do believe once that 105 breaks and gets support, 106 is our next target, and then much, 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 much higher, up into like 115, 120, possibly even higher. Let's see how bad this gets. But right now, our current support for the DXY lies right around 105.06, and that is our 0.382 fib. Once that breaks, our next fib level to to get down to would be around 102. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to see a much, much higher DXY. Something like what happened over here, right? Just continuous upside while the markets crash. That's what I'm looking for. I still believe DXY is super bullish. And if we zoom in here, you can see it does look like a bull flag, right? Even if we take the small side of the bull flag and we take a measured move from when it broke out of this bull flag, bring it up and bring it up here. Once we break this one, that gets us about 105.8. So it'll give us above our 105.5 target, and then possibly getting 105.5 as support for a continuation up to our next target. Guys, I am super bullish on the DXY here, unless we break that fib level. So right here, I wanted to show you guys, this is the CME gaps, right? We do have a gap at 34,445, but let's look at the lower gaps. I do believe these are going to fill at least down to the 9,700, but possibly as low as that 3,500 that we've been waiting for, right? So we have a gap at 20,355, another one at 11,205, another one at 97.40, 76.30, and 35.70. Let's take a look at, this is the rejection zone where I was talking about 27.2 to 27.3. And right now we're currently at 27.171. I do think this is our rejection area. Now, if we do break up, right, if you look here on the daily, we're getting rejected. Actually, we're above the 55 EMA. Let's see where the daily closes. If we close below that, guys, it's a continuation to the downside. If we close above that, then we possibly could see a little bit higher. If you guys are interested in trading, check out my sponsor, Prime XBT, by far my favorite exchange. Definitely check them out. Here is their little ad.
Begin your path to financial freedom. Gain up to a $7,000 bonus on us. Register and use promo code. Deposit and enjoy a 7% bonus. Available now. Link in the description.
So yes, you can use my promo code Savvy25 and Savvy50. Savvy50 will get you up to a $7,000 bonus. Savvy25 will get you 25% off your fees. Definitely check them out. They don't get all the scam wicks. They don't trade against their customers. I made a video on that the other day. I'll leave it right up top. You can check it out yourself. The difference between an A-book and B-book exchange. Very interesting for those of you that are trading and do not know about A-book and B-book. It is very, very interesting. Check it out. All right, let's take a look at the daily here. So as you can see, we had our high at 69. We had a low right here around 33. We don't count this low because we made a high after it, right? So this was our next low, and then we had a lower high, lower low, lower high, heading for a lower low, in my opinion. We've been looking at this macro. We've called this for a very long time as in a bubble pop pattern and how they pop. Stick around. We're going to take a look at that in a minute. But as you can see, I'm looking at this as a possible A, B, C, D, E. Looking for that E between 37 and 9,700. Once that happens, we can consider the bottom definitely being in. But that doesn't mean we see a new all-time high but in the very near future. Like I said, everybody talks about the 4-year cycle. There can be a 4-year cycle. There's a 4-year cycle in a lot of things, right? But it doesn't mean it has to hit a new all-time high every 4 years. Just means there's a cycle within the 4 years. If you want to look at the 4-year cycle, it's already been broken because technically in the 4-year cycle that everybody claims for Bitcoin having, Bitcoin never reaches its old all-time high again. Well, we crushed it. We went to 15.5. The old all-time high was 20,000. So just remember that. All right, let's take a look at another count. This being a 5-wave count, this gets invalidated if wave 1 is broken, and that's around 32.8, 32.9 range. If that's broken, then this count is invalid. But until then, this count remains valid. As the 4th wave finished, we're heading down for 5. Again, I think it'll be 35 to 9,700. All right, let's take a look at the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, this looks like a huge pump everybody's talking about, right? But if we look at it in perspective, look at this candle. Look how many times we've had much bigger candles, right? This pump is not that big yet. Could it get big? Possible. Is it big? No, this is just getting up to our rejection area that I've been talking about, 27.2 to 27.3. That doesn't mean it can't wick higher, but watch for daily closes, right? Just try to keep out of all the hype and craziness of, you know, what you see on Twitter and YouTube. A lot of these guys are just hopeful, right? Very hopeful. They want to become millionaires. Who doesn't? But the problem is you don't become it just by buying and holding on to some assets, unless you bought Bitcoin 5 years ago, right? Just 10 years ago. But the markets are a lot different now. Just be careful, guys. Let's look at FTT. This was the FTX collapse with the FTT coin, and this is Binance. As you guys know, I've been talking about this since November. It is making the same pattern as FTT did. Let's zoom into this little area right here, right? So we got our two bounces off our 202. Next time we get down to this 202 level, guys, it's going to be rough. Where's the resistance right now? About 225 would be the 55 EMA. But if we do get up there, I do expect a rejection, come back down, retest this level. And if you look here, what we have forming, even if we get up to that 225, right, is a descending triangle. And let's take a measured move of that descending triangle. A break of that triangle would get us down to, we have a target of 153, right? This would get us to about 167. So expect to bounce in there, maybe even come back up and retest this before hitting. But once that 153 breaks, our target is between 67 and 69 bucks right here. If that breaks, kudos for BNB and Binance, in my opinion. XRP, I know everybody loves themselves some XRP, but we had this macro chart, right? It is a massive hype coin. They always claim that banks are using them. Guys, I could make a coin, call it Savvy Coin, give it to the banks and just tell them, test it out. And I could claim they're my partner and they would take it because it's worth money. Doesn't mean they're using it, right? You need to understand that. This white trend line right here on the weekly, we have never opened or closed a trend line or a candle above it, right? Still in that range. So you can see over here, XRP popped up to retest the trend line after breaking up above, but never opening and closing a candle. So where is that now? If it was to get some massive BS news, or they put out some articles that they pay for to make it sound great, like they always do, that's what these are, hype cycles, right? How high could it get? It could possibly get back up to retest the white trend line, 68 bucks or 68 cents. My bad. But anyway, I have a target of 25. If 25 breaks, 4 cents for the bear market, right? But this thing just looks like a dying chart, right? Ethereum, same thing, guys. Look for this 1445. If that breaks, 926. If that breaks, 600. If that breaks, 280. But nevertheless, the stuff is looking very bearish. You can see the hidden bearish divergence here. Like you got lower highs here in a downtrend, right? And then you're getting a higher high here in a downtrend. That's hidden bearish divergence, a continuation of the trend. Sorry if this is going kind of quick. I got a lot of stuff to do today, so I'm just zipping through the charts, confirming that really nothing has changed. But waiting for another break of this 16 or 62.57 for Litecoin. Where is the resistance level? 71.31 is the 55 EMA. Continuation of the downside. As you can see, we go from this high to this high, lower high here, higher high in the RSI, hidden bearish divergence. Hidden divergence is a continuation of the trend. The trend is down. Remember that. All right, guys, let's take a look at, so this is the daily. This is the rising broadening wedge that we were watching with a target of about 10,000, right? If we take the widest point of this rising broadening wedge, bring it down to where it broke down. Right now, the resistance on that is 28.7. We could get up to there, possibly retest and before coming down. But remember, the break of this 25, the next time this 25 breaks, I think it's going to be a capitulation event. Things are going to be bad. All right. Only for hodlers, right? If you're expecting Bitcoin to go up and that's the only way you can make money, it's bad. If you are trading and understand you can make money going up and down, going down is a great thing, right? So let's look at the Amazon bubble right here, right? It began over here. It returned back to those levels. So Bitcoin should be returning back to these levels. We talked about once we had our false bottom, which I believe was here, we would have a 100% rally. Now, I was talking about this in 2021 up here when I told everybody this was looking probable, right? So we got our 100% rally now for our downside that we've been expecting for a long time. You can see it here in the weekly RSI, right? Once we broke that weekly trend line, we popped up, got our 100% rally. It don't look as big here, but it's a 100% rally. It just went lower. So your 100% is, not as high looking in the charts. It's still 100% rally before the true bottom. I think we are heading down to these levels, 35 to 9,700 for our true bottom. So get Nintendo, right? Bubble pop. Same thing. It began over here. We got a 100% rally here and came down to its true lows. I think we have true lows coming, a true bottom down in this area still. Here's another one, Sony, right? Same thing, guys. It began here, came back down to where it began. Bitcoin still going to come back down to where it began, in my opinion. Just be careful out there. I know a lot of people think we are in the bull market. I do not. When we do get in the bull market, I will be wearing this hat, right? Raging Bull. So until then, I remain bearish. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, always use stop losses if you're trading. Make sure you use risk management. Never put in more money than you're willing to lose in any asset or any stock or any crypto, anything like that. Be careful. I think this bubble pop is going to decimate altcoins and get rid of all the crap. So be careful, guys. I'm out. See you in the next video.